Mextrópoli it's a festival that we do each year in Mexico City. For us as architects to have more relation with the street, with the people of the street, and for the people on the street to know more what we do as architects.
Mextrópoli for many years is an opportunity to hear the voices of people that think architecture and how can we change the cities.
The greatest thing about Mextrópoli is that it's not just a platform for architects, but there are also many things happening within the city, so actually everyone gets involved.
It's probably good to introduce the idea of designed space to non-professionals, to a public.
It's also interesting to see how other kind of citizens are involved in the festivity, the sides of the pavilion, for example. And I think that this is a good way to discuss the city, the future of the city.
6 years ago, we decided to make it into a build competition for a pavilion.
It's a temporal action, but you have ideas for life.
The National University made a pavilion with many doors. They didn't buy the doors, they didn't make the doors. They went to places to ask the people, can you lend us your door for a couple of weeks? So they took out the door, they put it in a pavilion, and people is now opening these doors that they belong to someone else, and these doors they are going to go back to the places where they belong. And this one made with boxes, with black boxes. It's this idea of collecting a lot of stuff, usual stuff, and transform it into space.
This is our pavilion for Mextrópoli. This material, the tessondre, is a traditional material to construct. You can see it in the facades, in the foundations.
And these pieces also talk like a sandbox, you know, when you are a child and you play in a sandbox.
This like experience of memory when you are a child, being ludic with organic materials, with the rawness of the materials.
The things that are already in the Alameda, fountains, statues, monuments, so they transform them. For instance, also the pavilion by Mauricio Rocha and Gaby Carrillo, there's this monument to Alexander von Humboldt that a lot of us didn't saw it until yesterday, that it was beneath the oculus of the pavilion. So it revealed us this monument that has been there for years.
Is for us very important is the idea that we can make a public space with not too much money.
With small elements, with a simple transformation, you can achieve a space to hang out, to have some lectures around, and with almost no money, in a very short period of time, you can transform something, you can achieve some silence, you can see things that maybe you haven't seen before. It's a way to say that architecture at some point, people believe that it's just for a segment of population with money, and we do think that architecture is something that everyone deserves. It's an opportunity to say not just to the politicians but also to the people that dignity and space and atmosphere is something for everyone.
Okay, so my name's Regina and we're in the Universidad Iberoamericana Pavilion. And what we did was a series of pneumatic structures where you can go in and have different kinds of experiences.
We start with plane, then we start like how this plane structure can be like a column. Then we just think, what about making like an entrance so people can interact also? The interaction with the people and with the park, that was what we wanted to achieve.
My name is Sonis Luque. I'm an architectural photographer. We are here in the Museo de la Ciudad. This exhibition is within the Festival Mextrópoli here in Mexico City. My contribution is a work on a Mexican architect named Mario Pani. We as photographers who show and promote in some way architecture, it's very important for us to have these spaces to show our work and how we look at, in this case, at the modernity in our countries and the places we live in.
It's a show that, even though it has a common thread, read this modern architecture. I think there are 7 different approaches. This has really brought the community of architectural photographers together and start dialogues both about our profession, about what we do, and what we can contribute in the future.
Mextrópoli seems to be this nexus for the Latin world, and you get a whole range of guest speakers that I don't normally see on my traditional media art circuits in Europe or in America. So I think it's a chance to really engage with an alternative set of stories and to get a glimpse and a window into an amazing new set of urban conditions that aren't necessarily part of the dominant media narratives.
The young crowd, it's amazing. We have an average age far below 30. What I tried to express today is how you can become an influential contributor to the solution of tomorrow.
Most of the audience in the roundtables is different than the theater. The theater here, there's a lot of young architects, students, it's more our community. But in the outside roundtables, they're regular citizens. It becomes way more interesting when you open the conversation with the audience, and it goes in very unpredictable territories.
We have understood that would be much useful to discuss the city with the citizens. It's a project that we have to solve every generation, and we have to solve all together.
The role of the architect has really shifted from this idea of the creator of these monumental buildings into something very different that has to do more with collaborations and with understanding that our world is changing very fast.
I honestly believe in the power of engagement. The architect of today and of tomorrow really is going to have to fundamentally change, and it's going to have to take into account all of these different issues. It's going to have to think about the environment, it's going to have to think about sustainability, but at the heart of it all is going to have to think about people and how is it that people are impacted by the spaces we create. And so now we need to all work together and really all share into this knowledge and any solutions that we can bring to the table in order to collectively really make progress in that direction.